Obligatory content creator, yeehaw. Yeehaw. Today's video brought to you by FusionGamingOnline.com, your one-stop shop for all your gaming needs. Look at God. All right, so we're on a draw, which isn't as great, but we do have Spectral Sailor into CO, into Geistlight with 2 lands. There's absolutely no chance in hell I'm not keeping this hand. And even if I get Thought Seized, I'm not the saddest person in the universe. So I don't like seeing this plus this because that means that we're playing against Izzet Phoenix, but like, you know, them's the breaks. Like, sometimes you just play against the best deck sometimes. So I'm still going to hold up the Spectral Sailor here, even though it's a really terrible attacker into exactly a Ledger Shredder. So if they have a Shredder, yeah, that sucks. If they don't have a Shredder, hip hip hooray, damn it, they did. So I guess it's time to cry about that and then move on to next turn here. So I'm going to go ahead and play Mutavault into Supreme Phantom and see if we can't make them do something a turn earlier than they wanted to. They only have 1 spell here right now, so if they want to Fiery Impulse to Supreme Phantom, they're going to have to cast 2 spells now instead of being able to wait for a potential Phoenix turn. They can Fiery Impulse this, but Spectral Sailor currently isn't the biggest threat on the table. It's my Supreme Phantom. If I get to untap and maybe hold up Geistlight Snare plus something, great. But it is true that this is not exactly the matchup for game 1 for us. A Lightning Axe even, discarding a Phoenix, okay. So there's a consider. Remember, they were on the play, so if they manage to hit a land drop plus a cantrip, they will be able to, oh god, double Phoenix. Oh no! Oh man. So this is why I was complaining so hard about being on the draw here, because on the play, I don't have to let this resolve, and we just kind of like race for the hills. Life is super perfect for, you know, just us. And we at least get to do the thing that we want to do without worrying about this big ass Ledger Shredder being on the table. However, we are currently stuck basically holding up this Geistlight Snare and crossing our fingers since they do have the 2 Phoenixes. Not really the best look for us. They found those Phoenixes super early. Profs, yikes. God, I don't want to let that resolve. This card scares the shit out of me. I think I have to walk into a whatever the thing's called. Yeah, this sucks. So if they have a Fiery Impulse here, then like, okay, so be it, that sucks. But I really don't think Profs is allowed to resolve here. Like, if this card resolves, I'm just super dead. And realistically, I'm already relatively dead with this Spectral Sailor being my only threat. But I'm super dead if they start making flyers that are like 8/8s. Okay, so they did in fact have Fiery Impulse. There was already nothing we could do about that. So here, what are we stuck doing? Next turn, most likely playing Mausoleum Wanderer and holding up Spell Queller and hoping that's good enough. All right, let's see what we can draw. We draw another Geistlight Snare, which is honestly not fantastic. So we're going to be at 13. We're going to go ahead and pass the turn. They do only have 3 cards in hand to our 3, so that's not the worst. In theory, our individual cards are better than their individual cards. It's just the Phoenixes and stuff that make life super miserable. So if they just... Nope. Okay, so they are also going to play a Picklock Prankster. Okay, that's actually not that bad for us. I will use this as an opportunity to resolve my Spell Queller. So this way, my Mausoleum Wanderer is going to be a 2/2, and if their last spell is a Treasure Cruise, then I can use Mausoleum Wanderer to counter that. If they just... And it looks like that's what's happening. Okay, so we're going to let them connive first, see what they effectively mill, and then we are going to pop our Mausoleum Wanderer to counter the Treasure Cruise. We're still stuck dealing with a 3/5 Ledger Shredder, but currently, at least, that's all they have going on. So I am going to take the attack. I'm going to go to 10, and my Dust Animus is actually going to feel pretty good if I can manage to go ahead and draw an untapped land for my next turn. So let's go ahead and plot that 4/5, pass a turn, and then see if our combination of Geistlight Snare and No More Lies ends up being good enough here. Ideally, they just have like another Ledger Shredder that I can counter. Okay, so it looks like we are going to take that. We're going to go to 7, and they're going to use the loot mode on 3 steps ahead. So I don't really want them even being able to draw cards here, so I'm just going to use No More Lies on that. I will be using my mana efficiently, and that's not the land I was asking for, so poop on that, I guess. So let's just attack for 2, and I will take this attack this turn, go down to 3, knowing that my Spell Queller can counter pretty much anything they have. So I'm going to give myself another draw step here, try to draw into an untapped land for my Dust Animus. Because if I can get a 4/5 lifelinker on the table, then we're feeling pretty good about that. Damn it. Not what I was asking for. So I'm still going to attack with my friend here. They're going to go to 10. And I'm going to play my Mausoleum Wanderer, holding up my Spell Queller. This is effectively the same scenario here. The only difference is now they have 2 cards in hand. So if they're both spells, looks like they're not. That's great for us. But if they were, then we might have had the ability to use our Spell Queller super proactively, prevent a bunch of connive shenanigans and stuff, you know. So let's... Actually, this time I think I'm supposed to just play the Spell Queller. Yeah. Hey, untapped land. Perfect. So now I'm going to attack with my Spell Queller here, do this, play my Otawara, and then play my Dust Animus, knowing that I have my Geistlight Snare in hand. So we can start getting rowdy right back with the opponent here. Hopefully they don't just like Lightning Axe this. All right, good. Phew. Arclight Phoenix, they're just going to cast it, so I will use a counterspell here. They can't really attack because I can just double block. So now I can just start gaining life and being pretty happy about that. And a Spectral Sailor's not even a bad draw for me. So if they just go ahead and block here, they bounce off of each other, but now I'm going to go to 8 life. Even if they draw a land and activate my their Hall of Storm Giants, I'm still feeling relatively okay now. Not what I wanted to see, but acceptable, I guess. All right, 6. So now I can start drawing cards. So I have cards like Get Lost and a Brazen Borrower in here. Oh my god. Did they just die? Yeah, they block 4, they block 3, they take a bunch. Yeah, let's do that. And Hadouken. That looks like exactly 8 to me, right? Like they block 5 and 3, they take 3, 3, and 2. That's 8. Perfect. All right, we've done the thing. Game 1. Look at Dust Animus already doing work. Let's go. That doesn't mean it's staying in games 2 and 3 though. So we want portable holes, and we really just want to turn into a mid-range deck rather than like a traditional spirits deck in this matchup. So out are going to come smaller things like the Curious Obsessions and the Spectral Sailors, because as we saw, trying to get those things through specifically a Ledger Shredder is an absolute nightmare. That situation sucks, and I will not tell you to subject yourself to it. So instead, we're going to do things like putting in more lands, putting in Wedding Announcements, Wandering Emperors, portable holes, and we really just want to be a mid-range deck rather than a traditional spirits deck against our Phoenix opponent. So that's how we're going to sideboard here. Yeah, no real complaints here. All right, so I've got a white land, so I can cast my Rest in Peace and Wedding Announcement both on time here. This does help to outpace stuff like specifically a copy of cards like their Ledger Shredder, like conniving and getting things like Arclight Phoenixes in the graveyard, things like fodder for Treasure Cruise. So Rest in Peace really helps with all of those things. And then Wedding Announcement just turns the game into us looking like a really good mid-range deck against them rather than just like, you know, some spirits deck that their removal's really good against. So they want cards against us that are close to things like, say, Rending Valley, but Rending Valley really sucks when you're making 3 creatures with 1 card. So that's going to be kind of our game plan from here. Okay, and here I will cast my Rattle Chains because I want them to use mana. If they use 2 mana on this Rattle Chains, then I'm going to feel really good about just resolving my Wedding Announcement. And if they don't, then that's fine too. I get to attack. Okay, so they're going to cast their Free to Fae in response to that. And what did they get? 2 Ledger Shredders, Consider, Sleight of Hand, and a Mystical Dispute over here. Got it. So looks like I'm going to get to attack and resolve my Wedding Announcement, which is pretty nice. And I think I would rather resolve that than a Rest in Peace here. Reason being, next turn I can make my land drop here, and their most likely ways of being able to counter the spell are either this face-up Mystical Dispute or a Spell Pierce that's one of these other cards. And if they have a Spell Pierce, then that's not really useful against 4 mana, right? So I can just set up with a Mutavault, maybe try to resolve this if they do stuff. If they don't try to do stuff, that's fine. I have Supreme Phantom. And either way, I'm pretty happy about potentially resolving this on turn 4 or 5. If they resolve 1 Treasure Cruise by then, yes, that sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, and it looks like we're just casting Sleight of Hands right now. So we'll find out here whether they want to do something like, I don't know, Petty Theft here, removals on one of these, or just cast their Picklock Prankster. If they do any of those things now, I will be super happy to resolve this Rest in Peace next turn. If they don't, then that's fine. I get some attacks in. I'm pretty happy about either outcome. Income 2, pay me. Whoa, Lightning Axe killing Steam Vents on my Rattle Chains. All right. So that means they definitely have the Treasure Cruise here. So they're going to get to refill up to a total of 6 cards in hand. And honestly, I think I'm good with that. A Supreme Phantom is also a pretty good draw. So here I'm going to just resolve my 2 spells. We're going to get the Rest in Peace in first. I definitely want to resolve the Supreme Phantom, and we will get our attack in. So now they do have more raw cards than I do, but look at our board presences. The Wedding Announcement's resolved. This is potentially going to be able to make things like a bunch of 2/2s, and this means a 2/4 later on. Rest in Peace means, like, yes, they resolved their 1 Treasure Cruise, but, like, we're done with that now. And this actually folds to Iganjo, so even that's not a great help for them. That's fine. We know they have Mystical Dispute in hand, so if it's face up, I really don't care. I'm gonna attack with my 2 tokens. I don't want to straight up tell them that I have Iganjo. I want to tell them that I want to draw a card with Wedding Announcement by attacking with exactly 2 creatures. They block 1 because it's relatively free, or so they think, and then they get blown up by my Iganjo. If I attacked with Supreme Phantom, then it's really obvious that I have some kind of trick. So here I'm going to get to do the thing as promised here, and there's pretty much no recourse on their end. And I'm not even going to cast a spell here. I'm just going to let their mana go to waste and have their Mystical Dispute basically rot in their hand. So now I'm going to have some 2/2s, a 2/4 here. I get to draw a card. Life is looking pretty okay, unless you're my opponent. Oh, a No More Lies is actually pretty good. Opt, I don't really care. Yeah, since we've gotten to a board state where they don't have access to anything like, say, a Ledger Shredder or even an onboard Phoenix, like, I'm good with all the cantrips they want to use. So if you're filtering out cards and not doing anything about the board, I'm in a pretty happy space. Consider, you got it. Hall of Storm Giants as the land drop, okay. That doesn't really do anything. We're pretty far away from having to care about the 7/7. And it looks like they do want to use mana on a removal spell. So are we just getting Lightning Axed here? If they want to use 2 copies of... That's fine. If they want to use 2 copies of Fiery Impulse, I was going to say that I was cool with that. Okay, Spell Pierce is what goes away. So now I actually am going to use my No More Lies because I want them to use my their Mystical Dispute. I want them to use their mana. Perfect. So now that they've actually used the Mystical Dispute and they've already made their land drop, I know that they're not allowed to play their Picklock Prankster. These 2 attacks are going to get through pretty clean, and I'm actually good with that too. So I'm going to resolve my Supreme Phantom while the getting's good. I'm going to level up my Mutavault here. That's a 4/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and get in a lovely attack for Aiden. So now they go all the way down to 8. They can play their Picklock Prankster as a blocker, but now I have access to both Portable Hole and Brazen Borrower to get rid of it and just kind of clear the way for lethal here. So if my opponent doesn't do something really meaningful right now, then we are probably just going to win the game next turn. So fingers crossed. Okay, so it looks like they are going to come at us with a combination of Ledger Shredder and Picklock Prankster. Even that, I'm honestly just good with. All right, so there's the Prankster. The Prankster is going to trigger the Connive. I'm cool with that. Let's see what they drop. It was a Treasure Cruise. Okay, so yes, you can have your 1/3. And now they have 3 mana left. If we looking at another Lightning Axe onto my Supreme Phantom? See, the thing with Arena is if they look at one of my cards, it actually gets highlighted in white for a quick second. So if you are an Arena player, that's one of those things that you probably want to pay a little bit of attention to here and there, because you just get a lot of free information sometimes. Okay, cool. So now that that resolved, I'm going to go ahead and also try to use Petty Theft on here. And the reason I played the land first is specifically to play around another copy of Mystical Dispute, because now I can pay for a dispute. All right. And, barring a removal spell here, looks like we may have just won this game. All right. 2-0 over Phoenix, one of our worst matchups. I love that for us. Let's move on to the next round. All right, opponent's going first again, but our hand here isn't bad, so I'm going to keep it and get Thought Seized. Got it. Understood. So this could really be anything. It could be Mono Black. It could be Rakdos Midrange or Transmogrify. Is that in Arena? I don't remember. If it is, it could be that. It could be Vampires. Oh, Hive into Thought Seized doesn't tell us anything. Okay, they know I don't have a Wanderer or a Spectral Sailor in hand, so I'm just going to play this land tapped. They Sign in Blood. Don't love that for me. Okay, so I think I'm walking into a Liliana of the Veil here, but I don't... Oh, Graveyard Trespasser and a Shattered Sanctum? You know, I no longer have answers for what's happening. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and Curious Obsession on my friendo here and really just see what I can draw. A Pathway. Okay. So Sign in Blood definitely tells us that this deck is like close to mono black, if not truly mono black. But keep it real, I that Shattered Sanctum tells me that I no longer have any idea of what's happening. So if they just want to like jam cards like Shieldred here, at least I have that base covered. Like I've got Get Lost, Brazen Bower. They do know about both, which is annoying, but at least I have both, you know? Options abound. Thought Sees Me, okay. That's actually fine. I'm not going to respond to that. I'm just going to let that rock. So they can take like the other CO if they don't have removal. They can take one of my 2 solution cards and they still have to kind of deal with the other one. If they do it like that, oh, they're taking Get Lost, not Brazen. Aha, that explains that. Okay, okay. So I am going to use my Petty Theft on the Preacher, knowing full well that yes, I could still be walking into a Shieldred, but I think this is still where I want to be in life. I'm going to go ahead, give myself a chance to draw 2 cards here. They go to 10. I do want both of my cards. Dust Animus is actively fantastic, as is a Mausoleum Wanderer. So I want to simply do both of those things. There's the Shieldred. Okay, that's fine. We already have the Shieldred base covered. I go to 11 and then effectively 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 if I choose to not use Otawara here. Oh shit. All right. Yeah, I think my Otawara is actually supposed to just be a land. I do really want a 4/5 lifelinker. And in the spirit of playing correctly, let's do that. Make my Mausoleum Wanderer huge. Plot. Yes? Yeah, I think I'm supposed to plot again and then attack for 3. And yeah, I can put the Brazen Borrower into play. I think this is where we're supposed to live. Again, the 5/6 lifelinker here is going to come in super clutch. They can't do Shieldred plus action. That's actually fine. That's like completely fine. So here I'm going to put the Brazen Borrower in play and sacrifice the Borrower to the Shieldred or the Liliana. And now this way, if they want to use a Fatal Push from hand on either of my huge threats, they still really can't. If they attack with Shieldred, then I think I just take that and go to an effective 3. If they attack with this, I have a block here or here. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way combat looks no matter what because of my Mausoleum Wanderer existing. Okay, so that's okay. Like no way, right? Like I just play this, they can't do anything. My Fatal Push secures the W. I have 10 damage even if I have to sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer. Yeah, this is okay. Good game. I feel like I put way too much thought into that Fatal Push. But the Shattered Sanctum is still telling me that something's happening that I don't really want parts of. So here I want the mid-range cards once again. Dust Animus was good, but that doesn't mean it's correct here. I don't particularly want what else. Supreme Phantoms are not great. And I will take out exactly 1 copy of Spell Queller. So the reason I don't want Supreme Phantoms is because decks like this will play a lot of sweepers like Deadly Cover-Up, sometimes even stuff like Languish. They can play, what's the 3-mana one that turns into 6 mana? Path of Peril. They can play that. There's a lot of options that they have access to as far as sweepers, which means you don't want to play your Supreme Phantoms into those sweeping cards, and this is actively excellent. Like, yeah, sure, I get Thoughtseize and that sucks, but like, if you Thoughtseize, you have to choose between my 1-drop, my power-up card for my 1-drop, or my card that can effectively beat a black deck all by itself. And if I'm not being Thoughtseize there, that's even better. So they can Fatal Push this, and that's kind of whatever. Looks like we don't have that either. Gifted Aetherborn. Very nice. Not even mad. I will choose to use my CO here. Yes, the life linking race sucks until I can get rid of this Gifted Aetherborn, but I'm honestly cool with that. What I'm not cool with is like if they just go Liliana Veil downtick, that sucks. Bitter Triumph is gonna happen, sure. So now just don't Thoughtseize my wedding announcement. Thank you. And what are we? We are a Shelly. Okay. Don't love that for me, but it is what it is. So let's draw a card. I do, however, enjoy that. So let's do this. And I'm actually going to chill for a turn because I want to give them the opportunity to Thoughtseize me if they see one. If they Thoughtseize me, I can both Rattle Chains and Petty Theft targeting Shieldred, and then they get no value because the remainder of my cards are just lands. So here, however, I am going to use my Petty Theft on the Shieldred anyway. I don't want to take 6. If they want to use their entire turn replaying Shieldred, then I already can't do much about that, but I would much rather take 2 than 6. All right, so I'm gonna put in Rattle Chains. If they want to use their Fatal Push on this, they can. But now things are getting a bit dire for me. Ray of Enfeeblement, good to know. We're gonna draw. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's gonna suck. All right, so I've got some 2/2s here. So if I'm allowed to, I suppose I could just gang block Shieldred with all 3 creatures here. And if it comes to that, then whatever, I'll do it. Hopefully they don't have a second Shieldred in hand, right? All right, fine. I will double block anyway. So they can kill both my tokens with Death Touch here. End of turn, I can use my Otawara. Sucks. Happens. Go away Shieldred once again. And Spectral Sailor is not the counter magic I was looking for, deck. So we are still going to name Spirit here. We're not going to attack, unfortunately. That's going to turn into... Oh, I could have played this during my turn. Whoops. Yeah, that's on me. So I'm going to get drained for 2 here, assuming they eat their own Gifted Aetherborn. Yep. So I'm at 7. They're at 100, effectively. I block here, and if they play Shieldred, I will respond with Spectral Sailor, because if I manage to Sailor, use ability, draw a Geist Light Snare, I still have a mana left over, which is enough with the Wedding Festivity to be a counter spell. Damn, another land? Alright, okay, fine, game 3. Do I change anything about my plan? I saw Gifted Aetherborn, which I care about, but not enough to put in extra cards for. But I did see Ray of Enfeeblement, which means I want Dust Animus more than Spell Queller. So it gives -4/-4 to white creatures, which is definitely enough to always get rid of a Spell Queller, which I already didn't really want in this matchup, but it doesn't do 5 toughness, which is what Dust Animus is with 5 lands. So I like that it can not kill that, so I'll keep that. No, we're gambling. No. Okay. Here I'm gonna put back the Animus, and we'll just put this in play tapped. Hope to not get our CO Thought Seized, and continue. Duress, fine. Well, maybe they take my Gaslight Snare. Who knows? They know. Sometimes you gotta cope, right? All right. So here, if they play that, I'm just gonna do this. Establish my body. Give myself a chance to draw into another CO, maybe. Nope. Okay. But I do now at least have another Rattle Chains and a counterspell. So even though my hand currently sucks, I still have a medium-high amount of options to play with. What are we doing? That's a Sanctum again into a what? A Trespasser, which I pretty much have to counter here. So if I can draw another counter, that'd be great. No? Okay. I guess no is an acceptable answer as well. So let's name Spirit. And they know that I have the Rattle Chains, but if they, I don't know, Thought Seize me or something, then at least I can respond with 2 cards and not just the 1. Okay, that sucks. Oh, late. Why late? All right, this is awful. So I'm going to end up taking a total of 8 here, going down to 6, including my own draw step. And I really just need something like, I don't know, like Get Lost, a Petty Theft, anything really to deal with Shelly here. What are you looking at? Sign and Blood target me. Hate that. 6 down to 2, then my draw step, so I actually have to do something about this. Disgusting. All right, and I literally have to do this, otherwise I die to the Shieldred. That is awful. Okay, a land. So we're also just like dead here, but man, I am not even really sad about this because of how bad we managed to draw here. Like, yes, my CO getting Thought Seized earlier is like a thing and it affected the game, sure, but we already knew Thought Seize existed. So I'll just pack this one up and let's move on to the next round. Oh, this one's weird. So we're on the draw once again. So 0 for 3 on die rolls, but I've got 2 COs and a 2-drop here. I've also got removal provided I draw white and interaction here. I am gonna keep this, but acknowledge that this is one of our sketchiest 7s possible. Land into Elvish Mystic does not bode well for this slow hand. So let's, oh boy. We are crossing our fingers on this next turn. What in the hell was that? Add a mana, draw a card. Oh, weird. Cool. Okay. Huh, that's a thing. I don't know that I've ever seen that card in my entire life. Well, let's play Supreme Phantom and hope for the best here. So they're gonna play this thing. They're gonna have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit, 5. Oh no, that's a Cavalier. Oh crap. So now they have enough mana to play Cavalier Thorns. Yes, I have to get lost for it. I mean, that's about as bad. Okay. At least they didn't have the land for this big ass thing. So I'm actually going to use my Petty Theft here. Kick you the hell out. And I can play my CO on this. This doesn't have reach. And I can start the Gravy Train here. If they don't somehow have another actual green source, then they're not going to get to play the Pelucranos again. If they do spend this turn playing a land in Pelucranos again, then well, I don't even know what this does. They got the Forest, and this turns into a... Oh, that's actually pretty good. Neat. Okay. See you, opponent. That's kind of cool. Spell Queller is actively fantastic here. I can... You don't have reach, right? Just trample. Okay. I think I'm supposed to just draw a card and try for an untapped land. We don't get there, but I can still play my Mausoleum Wanderer, and actually no, I'm just gonna hold up my Spell Queller, because even if they don't do anything I want to quell, I still have Get Lost here. That feels okay. And then next turn I can, oh fuck, that is not okay at all. Damn it, that would have worked. Well, time to cry, I guess. Holy crap. So now we're playing the game of how the hell do I get out of this? And I don't know that the answer is I do. Ah, Christ. So here I take 8, go down to 10. I am going to get lost on the Cavalier specifically. So I'll take this. I'll go down to 10. If they want to main phase 2 an Elf, so be it. Or even Explore, I guess. And they choose to put the Pelucranos on the table. Okay. Man, this Mausoleum Wanderer would have been sweet. Oh, sucks. Happens. So now they're going to put the counter on the Troll, so be it. A Darker Wastes. Is that decent enough to provide me any value by itself? I have to attack, so I may as well play the Lord here. And attack for 3 if I'm already stuck attacking. So that takes us to nothing really of value here. I have a couple of blockers, which isn't bad. You trample. Okay, so do you. You don't. Okay, so there's still not really much risk of me dying this turn, but I do have to block. Annoying, but technically not really the end of the world. Still very obnoxious though. What can we do from 13? I really need one more turn to just like be left alone, but I'm obviously not going to get it. That's just not how this works here. So I can block Wanderer onto the Trailblazer here. Definitely not take any trample damage. And then that's 9, not 10, and I can get lost to Pelucranos to try to spin into what? That's all 3 of my main deck removal spells. So I think I'm probably realistically just super dead here, but I will give myself the chance to draw something else, like say, I don't know. Wait, what? What did you think I had? I don't know why our opponent conceded, and they don't want to play 2. Oh, okay. Understood. We're done here. Be sure to check out additional content from myself, Nikachu, the Commander Cookout, and others at themanabase.com. We're on the draw here, and our hand is really busted if we draw exactly a Curious Obsession, and pretty middling if we don't. And are we willing to take that? I think the actual answer is yes, because like most 2-drops here are pretty good. Like Supreme Phantom's decent, Rattle Chains is good, a CO with a Spell Pierce is just hands down the most optimal thing possible. But if we're getting Thoughtseize, then I guess, I don't know, so be it. So they probably take the Spell Pierce. I still get my choice of 2 1-drops here. No, they actually take the Mausoleum Wanderer, which is fine because that's actually the card I wanted least here. Like, I want to be able to instant speed Spectral Sailor, untap, and give myself a chance to draw Haunted Ridge. I will not walk into a Fatal Push though. They know I have the Spell Pierce, so I may as well just give myself the chance to proactively use it. Here, if they go like Sorin or Fable, Reacher, that one kind of sucks. All right. Oh, hey, I was looking for you a little earlier. All right. So let's see if this is helpful here. What do we get? Another Spell Pierce. That's actually not bad. So I'm not going to play out the Supreme Phantom. I want to hold up double Spell Pierce here. This way, this plays around either the possibility of Sorin or 2 different removal spells, but not 2 Preachers. 2 Preachers is pretty obnoxious, not gonna lie. So you can be yet another blue land, that's fine. And I will do this, get my attack for 3 in. Remember that we do have 2 copies of Spell Pierce. Let's draw our card, and a Get Lost is actually kind of helpful here. So my Supreme Phantom can block this token just fine. I end up taking 4, and that is a bit of a cry section of the story here, since they're gonna get 2 more tokens. That's kind of obnoxious, actually. But next turn I will get to at least, oh right, they didn't even attack with the token. All right, no blocks then. But I will get to use a copy of Get Lost on one of these big things. And if this is just like, I don't know, Archfiend or whatever, annoying, but okay. And I will just untap here. Dust Animus is actually really good. So here I get to, oh no, I don't have that up yet. Okay, which also means I should have attacked before playing my land. Whoops. Mistakes were made. Let's get an attack in. They go down to 8. I do get to draw the card, and I have 5 lands here. I think I'm actually still just supposed to plot. Oh, this specifically not being in play over one of these is that feels bad. Like that feels real bad. 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. All right, so I go to 3, they go to 9. Oh no, they go to 11. Okay, so now I at least get to spell pierce here. If they have exactly another fatal push, then you know, so be it. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna have to use both of my things. That's actually fine, because I was already not doing anything about that with this Justice Dust Animus anyway. So I guess I attack down to 8. Yeah, attack down to 8, draw a card, see if I can't draw another preferably white spell here. That's almost the exact opposite. Okay, so I will play my friend here. It's got lifelink, which is important, and I guess we'll just pass the turn here. Like, I'm leaning pretty heavily on this Get Lost to do a lot of work, and I absolutely fucking hate that for me. Let's draw a card and see if it's a counterspell. It's not, but that's actually okay-ish. Oh no, because Vein Ripper means that I'm gonna have to take damage if I want to even deal with this shit. Okay, yeah, we're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? Like, actually, maybe not. How does this work? They attack with everything, right? I block a token with this, or block this here. Yeah, let's block here. And here, that would put me up to 8, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Crap. So we're just dead. Unfortunate. All right. So here, I kind of want to just turn into like a good control deck or slash mid-rangey deck here. So we're going to take out a lot of the things that don't really do too much against a lot of their big, nasty, repeatable things. Instead, I'd really just want to like have as much interaction and 2-for-1s as possible. No, thank you. And this is a lot better. So I'm going to ship one of these Spectral Sailors, play my Hall of Storm Giants, and pass. So I do have a decent curve here, right? Like Spectral Sailor into Rattle Chains into Spell Queller is not bad. Here they probably just take Spell Queller to resolve their own thing later down the road, and call it a day. Or they take Rattle Chains if they, okay. Dang it. Don't get me wrong, that was obviously pretty good. But I would rather have drawn something like a CO to kind of get the ball rolling. And to be fair, since I have Spell Queller mana now, I feel much better about this. The likelihood of them playing Magic over the next like 3 to 4 turns is really low. Okay, and you do know I have one, so this is fine. That's their bait spell. They don't, oh my god, let's do that. Now let's draw an untapped land. Damn it. All right, Spell Pierce, do the thing. Opponent, play, I don't know, Sorin. That's not a Sorin, but I suppose it could actually be worse than that. So they go to 8. I can go to what? 14, 10, 9, 8 on my own draw step. Yeah, that's actually okay. Do that, name Spirit, and pass. So this is actually mostly okay. Like, I've got Spell Queller with Spell Pierce backup. I am winning the damage race, and I've got Otawara in case shit really goes wrong, and I can back up an Otawara with a Spell Pierce as well. So most bases seem to be covered here. God. What the fuck is a god? Oh, you're a god. Okay. That's fine-ish. All right. It doesn't actually do anything ETB, so I guess that's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna spend the turn using Otawara to bounce this thing, and then hoping for like a No More Lies or something later. Oh, I discarded a land. Ha ha ha. I'm like, what the hell? All right, fine. That actually kind of sucks a lot. So let's attack. They probably just block here. No, they just let that rock? Okay. You don't have lifelink or anything, right? No, you're just a bat. Okay. Discarding a land was actually like super ultra clutch for opponent, and I fucking hate that for us. Also, Cavern on this, I just realized that's a god. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. They probably are going to try to use Fatal Push on my Spell Queller next. That's a vampire, isn't it? Damn it. Okay, so it just sucks to be us all around. Okay, not much I can do about that. Just 6 mana and jam. We're dead. Damn. All right, vampires got us. GG's. All right, so our gameplay is done. I'm not really counting that mono green round as a real round, if you will, so pretty glad to have played a 4th round and not really show y'all effectively 2.1 rounds instead of 3 whole rounds of gameplay. Anyway, enough ranting about that person. We honestly had a pretty good time here, and yes, we did lose twice to the combination of Thoughtseize / Fatal Push, but that is a weakness of the deck, right? Like, sometimes when you're trying to assemble a combo that's basically Curious Obsession plus creature that dies to Fatal Push, your creature will die to Fatal Push. And there's nothing really wrong with acknowledging that when you start your gameplay sessions, as long as you go into each tournament you play with some sort of tangible plan. Like in round 1, we played against Phoenix, the de facto best deck in the format, and one of our worst enemies, right? Like they have cards like Torch Tower, Fiery Impulse, Ledger Shredder, Arclight Phoenix, Crackling Drake, Sideboard, Rending Volley, sometimes even sweepers after that, like Brotherhood's End. So we have a really hard time dealing with stuff like that. And the fact that we were able to come back from a really low life total in game 1 and then beat the shit out of them in game 2 with our sideboard plan, that means that this is definitely a workable strategy, even though we happen to lose to Thoughtseize / Fatal Push 2 out of the rounds that we played today. It is what it is. And that mono green opponent, they were actually winning the game 1 that they conceded, but they got scared as soon as we presented like 1 or 2 spooky cards and the ability to participate. Granted, the likelihood of us winning 2 sideboarded games against mono green is pretty high, but they still conceded way too early. Anyway, good times all around, and for what it's worth, even though I feel like we lost more than we won today, I'm still pretty happy with the gameplay and with the ability of the deck to perform as a whole. So this will be what I'm actually bringing to an RCQ tomorrow, and that's a lot of why I wanted to highlight this list to everybody here, is just to show, hey, we're playing a new thing, it's kind of cool, it does the job, and sometimes it's the reason that we're even able to play a lot more games than we previously would have. Like Dust Animus is honestly the only reason that we were even participating in that game 1 against vampires, because just a 5/6 lifelinker gave me the ability to actually think about being able to win a game rather than straight up losing a game, even though they had a massive board presence. And yeah, sure, Sorin plus Vein Ripper being exactly in their hand that later in the game, it is what it is. We lost to that nonsense, but it is, that's the whole point of their deck. But Dust Animus was really overperforming, I believe, or it could just be that a 4/5 lifelinker is exactly what we wanted to see in a lot of scenarios. We got these 2 more in the sideboard, and I think we used we used basically everything in the sideboard here. Like the portable holes came in against the Phoenix deck and the Llanowar Elf deck. Rest in Peace is good against Phoenix, of course. Wedding Announcement comes in against both Phoenix and the black decks. Dust Animus can be, just a big dumb flyer sometimes, and sometimes that's just what you need. And then Wandering Emperor plus extra lands came up. Cavern of Souls could have come up against Izzet Phoenix, which is known to play Mystical Dispute. And Wandering Emperor came in, 3 out of our 4 matches? So pretty happy about all of our sideboard choices as well. They did the things that we needed them to do. Even when we didn't actually draw them, the plan was still there, right? But that's honestly enough jibber jabber for the day. We've gone on and on about a deck that I've played with you multiple times. So that's going to be it. If you like the gameplay and what you saw today, make sure you let me know by clicking the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We just hit 2,000, and I would love to see 2,000 more people join. But that's going to be it for today. I'll see y'all on the next one.